What's going on, guys? Balkan Architect here, and in today's video we're going to be building a custom door family inside of Revit. Now this is going to be a new episode in my beginner to pro series, which basically means that I'm going to be showing you kind of the beginner approach to creating door families, but then we're going to be taking it to that extra level, and I'm just going to be showing you some additional features and tips and tricks that kind of take you to a pro level family creation. Now, if you want to see more of my beginner to pro tutorials, I'm going to link up the playlist up in the cards above, so make sure to check it out. Also, if you're serious about learning how to create different types of Revit families, I have an entire course on the family editor, which is the design environment for creating Revit families. So if you want to check that out, I'm going to link it up just below this video in the description, and also up in the cards above. That's on my website, balkanarchitect.com. There you can find all of my Revit courses ranging from beginner to intermediate or advanced level topics. There's over 130 hours of content, and I'm adding more each month. Also there you can find my customized Balkan Architect templates. You can find some really high quality Revit families and also a plugin, so make sure to check that out. Make sure to like this video, it really helps me out a lot, and make sure to subscribe. Not only does that help you not miss any of my future videos, but also it makes the alpaca happy, and let's be honest, we want to make the alpaca happy. Okay, now let's jump into Revit, and here we are. So I'm here at Revit's home screen, so what I'm going to be doing now is just go straight to families, because this is going to be, after all, a door family. And then you just want to go here to new, and that's going to bring up the Revit template dialog, where you can choose which template you want to use. So in this case, this is going to be a door, so I'm just going to find the metric door, and make sure you go with this one, not the curtain wall type, because that's just a curtain wall panel and not a regular door. So let's go with just the metric door, and then I'm just going to hit open. So as soon as you open up the family, you'll see that you already get quite a lot of things included. So we can see that here we have this frame, which is quite cool. So we have that frame, we can see it even in the 3D view. I'm just going to turn on the thin lines to see everything better. So we have that frame. Here you can see that we already have some parameters. So the width, we have the wall here, the exterior. If I go to perhaps the exterior elevation, here you'll see in the elevation view we have again another parameter for height. We also have some of these dashed lines that indicate the swing of the door, so the handle is here and the hinges are here, or depending on which area you are, it might be the other way around. But anyways, so here, what are we going to be doing now? Well, I'm just going to go to the 3D view, select the just the frame that we have, and I'm just going to get rid of that. So I don't want that frame, it's an ugly frame and I don't want to use it, so I'm just going to get rid of that. Okay, so the next step, what you want to do is, let me just navigate here to the exterior view, and here you can see we have this opening. So you can see that in the 3D view we have just a door opening. Now this opening has the height of 2000, and then here it has the width, and we already have those parameters. Now I want to keep these parameters as my door opening, but I also want to have a frame, and then the frame is going to start from this reference plane and then into the wall. Now obviously we cannot build the frame into the wall, we have to get rid of that little wall segment and then build the frame there. So what I'm going to do is give a little offset between the width parameter and the actual opening. So I want to have kind of the rough width and then the actual width on the inside. So let's see how can we do that. So I like to go here to the exterior view and then go to the create tab, and then just go to the reference plane tool. RP is the shortcut. So you just want to make a few reference planes like this, so 1, 2, and then 3. So basically on all sides, and then you want to add basically dimensions that are kind of showing what's the offset here, what's the offset value. So you go here to the aligned dimension, you can find it here, you can find it here, and then you start off from the main reference plane, which is this one, and then you go up to here and you place it. Then you go from the main one, which is this one, to this one, and you place it. And again, from the main one to this one, and place it. Hit the escape key a few times, and now we actually want to turn these dimensions into a parameter value. So let's select the first one, hold the control key so you can get that little plus icon next to your on your cursor, and then you just want to select the other ones, go here to label dimension, go to create parameter, and now you're basically creating that offset parameter. So here we can name it, so let's call it the offset. Make it a type parameter. Everything else is kind of set up over here, so let's just click OK. And now we have that offset parameter, and it kind of defaulted to 71, but I can easily go here to family types, and then I can change that from 70 to perhaps 30 millimeters or 20 millimeters or whatever is the or whatever is kind of that frame going to be. I think 20 millimeters or 2 centimeters is more than enough, so let's just click OK. And as you can see, all of these parameters kind of moved in place. So we have our kind of rough width of the door. Okay, now we have to change the opening. So the opening is still here on the inside, so we want to move it to the outside. So the opening can be selected by hovering over this line at the bottom of the door. If I go to the 3D view, you can do the same thing here, and when you select that, it's going to say opening cut. Same thing goes in the exterior view. Now what we can do is just go here to edit sketch. It's going to open up like this, and you can see it's already locked in place to these original reference planes. So you just want to unlock it everywhere apart from the bottom. At the bottom, I'm fine with where that is. So just unlock it here. Okay, so it's going to give me some issues. So if I try to move it, let's see, will it let me? Yeah, remove constraint. And then, so you're just moving it from this one to this one. See how it snaps? And then when it snaps, you get that little lock icon. So if the lock icon disappears, you can just snap it back in, and then you can just lock it here in place. Same thing goes here. So you just move it, remove constraints, and then you bring it back, lock it. So you're just locking it on that new reference plane that we have created. Same thing goes here, remove it. Yeah, here it's going to say remove constraint. That's perfectly fine. Bring it back and then lock that in place. And there we go. Now we have that wider opening. And if I just finish edit mode, as you can see now that opening is going to do that kind of offset rough width of the door. Okay, so now once we have created that, now we can build in our frame. So to build a frame, what you want to do is first check. So here we're on the exterior side. So to build a frame, you want to go here to the create tab, and then you want to go here to a sweep. So this frame is going to be built as a sweep geometry. So you just want to select that, and then here we have an option to sketch out the path. So first you want to set the reference plane, and here you want to go with the reference plane exterior. So it's just going to kind of snap to that exterior side. Click OK. And then you want to build the line following that opening, so that those offset lines. So let's go like this. And then you can see how we get that lock icon for a second and then it disappears. That's okay. Let's just finish this line like so. Hit the escape key a few times, and then when we come back in, we move this out, we move it back in, and then we get that lock icon. Alternatively, if you don't like that approach, what you can do is simply go here to the modify panel, go to the align tool, and then just select that reference plane, select this, and then you get the lock icon. So you can use multiple approaches. I prefer to bring it kind of out and then back. Same thing goes here, and then lock it there. There we go. So everything needs to be locked in place just to make sure that everything kind of responds properly. Also, what you can do is use that align tool to align here on the reference level, just to align these kind of ends of that line. So you can do that as well. I'm not sure do you really have to do it. I'm pretty sure it's going to work without that, but you can never be too sure, so I like to manually log that in. Okay, moving forward, let's now model the actual frame. We have the path of the frame, but let's model the actual geometry or the profile. So for that, let's go back to the reference level. You can see that here it is. Here's that basically where that frame is located. And now we should model it. So you just go here to finish, you go to edit profile, and now you can sketch out your profile. So basically it should cover the entire wall and go a little bit past the wall like that. So this is the exterior side, this is the interior side. So I want my door to open towards the interior. In a lot of cases, you want that. So let's just go like this, go out perhaps 10 millimeters, go to this line. So just follow that interior opening line. And then on this side, I'm just going to go like this perhaps, and then give it a little bit of a gap, and then go perhaps like that. And we'll see how we'll lock this in. So first you want to make sure that this one is locked in. So you just move it out a little bit, and then move it in and lock it in place. So it's always going to stay to that, stay connected to that with inner edge. So it's always kind of reporting the accurate width. Next you want to lock this one in, so just obviously lock it into this exterior reference plane. And then for the rest of these, so for example this one, it's 25 millimeters, I think that's perfectly fine. So what you want to do here is just use dimensions to lock this in. So you just go to the dimension, you select the reference plane here, and then you go to here, place it, and then you just lock it in place. Same thing goes with this one, so you just go from here to there, place it, lock it in place. So you can just use dimensions to kind of hold geometry in place no matter how much this moves. And obviously this will move when the wall becomes thicker. All of these kind of have to follow that new thickness of the wall. Let's do the same thing here. So move it out, move it in, lock it in place. This position, so for example this position, you can just use the align tool and then align it to this and then lock it, because this one is already controlled by this dimension, which is locked. So if we just lock this to this, then that's locked to this, so it kind of follows that chain of locked elements, I guess. Okay, so this distance, this obviously doesn't look correct, so let's move this in a little bit. Yeah, let's have this 10 millimeter gap. Perhaps we can follow it like that. Okay, have it 10 millimeters here, and then this offset can be another perhaps 20. Yeah, I think this will work. Okay, there we go. So this now looks like something that could work, but again, we have to add more dimensions to lock this thing in place. So again, go here to align the dimension, go from here to here, place it, lock that. Then you want to go from, yeah, we can go from here to here and lock that. And also from here to here and lock even that. So there is a lot of things that are locked in here, but now once I hit finish, this will all be locked in place, and when I hit finish again, now we have that perfect door profile. So if I go to the 3D view, this is what that door profile looks like. And what's the best thing about all of these kind of all of these dimensions that lock everything together? Well, now when I go here to reference level, and if I decide to change the wall, so if let's say we place this on not a 150 millimeter wall but a 300 millimeter wall, well, when I click that, as you can see, this whole frame will follow that new thickness of that wall. So that's really good. I like to make sure that no matter how wide that wall is, that this frame is going to look correct and everything is going to work perfectly fine. Okay, so now once we have this in place, now it's time to model the actual door frame, or the actual door, not the frame, sorry, but the actual door panel. So to model the door panel, obviously you have multiple options. We can just go here, for example, to the solid extrusion, and then I can model it here. So I can just go here to a rectangle tool, and then I can model this as a simple rectangle. Now I do want this to follow certain dimensions, so let's see how wide this is. Okay, this is 25. So what I'm going to do here is just make sure to lock this line to this exterior side and then lock that in place. There we go, perfect. And then here I always obviously want to leave a little bit of a gap, so I'm going to do that by adding some dimensions. So I can just go here to the dimension tool, dimension from here to here, so that's 2 millimeters. From here to here, that's another 2. Place it here. Okay, this is kind of now in the way. Okay, again, let's add another one from here to here. Perfect. Actually, I don't think we needed two of these. I think one was enough because it's going to hold this whole thing in place. And now I'm just going to change this to 3 millimeters just to give it a bit more of a gap just in case. Again, here, let's go to 3 millimeters. And this one is already at 3, so perfect. Now, once we have all of this, I can just lock all three in place. Just lock them like that. So this is obviously always going to stick to these dimensions, and that's exactly what we want in this particular case. And then I can just hit finish. Now I do have to turn here to the exterior, and then on the bottom I want to lock that into the bottom, and then on top, well, on top I want to look at it from the interior. There we go. So on the interior, I actually just want that to go and be 3 millimeters below this. So hopefully I can do that with the dimension. So let's try that. Let's go here to the dimension tool, go from here to here, place it, select this thing, and can we do that? Nope, it's not going to let us. So because it's not going to let us do that, let's just place it like this until we have that. Is it 3 millimeters? Okay, it's 3.1, but let's select the panel and see how tall that is. So the panel is 2006 millimeters. So basically the panel is this height value plus, I guess, 7 millimeters. So what you want to do in that case is just select that panel. Here we have the extrusion end, and I can just add a parameter. So I can call this one the panel height. Let's add a new parameter, call it the panel height. Okay, make it a type parameter, that's okay, click OK again, and then we're going to make a small formula that's going to control this. So now we don't need this dimension, but what we do need is to go here to family types, find that panel height, and let's say that this is equal height plus 6, or no, it was 7, I think. Okay, hit apply. Okay, and now it's 2007, and it's perfectly fitting in here. And now we have that door that looks exactly how it should. And because everything is locked in place, now if I decide to make some changes, so let's go here to family types, and let's say this door should be 2100 millimeters tall, and it should be 900 millimeters wide. When I make that change and just say apply, it's going to change, and everything is going to kind of follow that change perfectly. So I really like the way that this is now turning out, and everything is obviously parametric, so it does exactly what it should. And now it's time to add some hardware, and by that I mean the door handles. So let me go here to the exterior view, for example, and let's say that we now want to add a door handle here. So we do that simply by going to our insert tab, and then we want to load in a hardware family which we're going to be placing here. So you just go here to load family, and then you go to doors, and then here we have hardware, and now we can see what we have on offer. So you can just see what works for you. For example, we can have this exterior pull or domestic handle or a lever, whatever you want to use. Let's use this one, kind of the simple one, or we can use both, I guess, or no, let's just stick to one. Oops. Entry door handle. I think this one is good. Entry door handle. I think that sounds kind of good for our particular door. So let's open that up, and now if I go to the create tab and go to component, I can now place this. So as you can see here, it's not going to allow me to place this thing. So let's try to go to reference level, and here it is going to allow me to place this. So if I come in here and place it just like that, let's see on the exterior one where that is. Okay, it's in a completely wrong position. So we now want to bring this up. Let's see what that looks like. So these can look kind of odd sometimes, so we can just see what that looks like. Okay, there we go. So now we just want to place it in the proper position. So that is here on the exterior, I can just move it up a little bit and then place it like so. I also want to mirror that, so just go to mirror, back access, and then mirror it kind of around itself and delete the previous one. There we go. And should this be mirrored upside down as well? So let's go here again and make sure to uncheck copy, and then when you mirror that, there we go. Did it mirror that upside down? No, it did not. Okay, now it's time to add some hardware, and by that I mean to add some door handles. So what I'm going to do here is go to the Insert tab, and we can actually find a door handle family. So let me just show you how I got here. So you go to your regular family library, you go to Doors, you go to Hardware, and then here you can see what Revit has to offer. So I'm just going to go with this lever and then hit Open. And now we can place that family. So let's see just what type of a family that is. So if I go here to create component, there we go. So it looks like this. So you can just place it there on the door. So let's see, where should this be placed? Perhaps like that. And then let's just check out this family in the 3D view. So this is what that handle looks like. Let's go to the exterior side. Okay, so it's here on the inside currently, and perhaps we can turn on the wireframe view mode to be able to see this. So it's currently over here. So now we want to define the position of this handle. So you do that by using reference planes. So I can go back to create, I can go to reference plane, and then let's add one vertical reference plane, and then also one horizontal reference plane, just like so. And now we want to log these in. So let's say that this door handle should be kind of, I don't know, like 60 millimeters, kind of really close to the edge. Perhaps 70 will work. And then we just want to add the aligned dimension. So again, you want to go to the main reference plane. This one is kind of the main original reference plane. Then grab this, place that, lock it in place. Again, you then want to go from the bottom all the way to here, place that, and then this can be at, I don't know, let's go with, yeah, let's leave it as is. I think I'm fine with that. So let's lock that in place. This one is locked in place, and now we can kind of position this handle to be exactly at that spot. So if I use the Align tool and then select this, find that horizontal line on the handle, I can lock it there. I can lock this vertical one here, and there we go. So now if I go to the 3D view, it's exactly in its position. You just want to go back to the reference plane, and just to make sure it's locked in kind of horizontally, you want to use the Align tool and then just lock it like this to that door. Then we can select this, we can mirror it to the other side by using the Draw Access tool. So I like to find the midpoint of this panel and then draw out a horizontal line, and then I just want to go to create, or not create, modify, align, and then align this to this. There we go. So to align the handle to the panel, and then once we have that, I also like to align it obviously to these reference planes that we have created. But now I'm not sure which door handle this one is. Is it the interior side or the exterior side? So what you want to do is go to the 3D view. So you just want to select this one on the interior side, and then you just want to temporarily hide that element here. And now we know that this one is only the exterior one. So when I go here to the Align tool, I can align it in place properly, just like that. Hit the escape key a few times, and now if I reset, now we have both of those in view, and we have that both on the inside and on the outside. So now we have our handle completed. Also, you want to make sure that all of your geometry has been set up properly. So I like to select my geometry, go here to the properties panel, and here you can see the subcategory is set to none, but I can set this one to the frame. For example, hit apply. Then for my panel, let's see, do we have a subcategory for that? yeah, we have a panel. So let's set this to be a panel. This is obviously hardware, so does it have a subcategory? No, it doesn't, so we don't have to do that. And then also we want to set up the materials. So what I'm going to do is select both of these, both the panel and the frame, go to the material, and instead of assigning the material here, I'm going to go to associate family parameter, and this will allow me to create a new parameter for the material. So I can call this one the door material. Obviously, you don't have to do both at once. You can do one by one, and then you have two parameters, so you can kind of independently set up the frame and the panel material. I don't want that. I don't really care about that, so I'm just going to do it with one parameter. Click OK, click OK again, and now as you can see, this is grayed out. So that means that here in the family types, you can control that material here, and then you can assign whichever material that you might want to use for this, which is really cool. Here also I've just noticed that the offset isn't locked, so let's lock that one, hit apply, okay, and there we go. This door is pretty much done. One more final thing that I like to do is go to the reference level, and then here I like to add kind of the swing line, how this door will swing, and let's model that. That's more of a annotation element, but let's model that as an open door, because usually in the floor plan view, doors are represented as opened at a 90-degree angle. To create that swing line, we want to go here into the reference level, and this is where it's going to be located. Now, it's a little bit tricky because this is going to be a set of symbolic lines, but it's also supposed to flex or change with the dimensions of the door. So let me show you how you set up something like that. So you want to go here to the Annotate tab, and here we have the symbolic lines, and this is what we're going to be using. So here I can just go to the rectangle, and here you can set up, this should be a panel cut. So make sure that the subcategory is correct, because then the line weights will follow the correct subcategory. So here I just want to create that panel just like this. Now, I don't really know the dimensions of the panel right now, so I'm just going to measure. So the thickness is 27, and the length is, what is it? 914. Okay, so this was 27. Okay, and this is let's see, okay, 914. Okay, so once we have this panel in place to the current width of the door, or the width of the opening of the door, now we want to add some reference planes to hold all of this in place, and we want to obviously to lock a lot of these things in place, or pretty much everything. So what to do first is let's lock in the things for which we don't need the reference planes, which is this. So just move this out and back, lock it there. Same thing goes with this one. Will it lock to this? No, it will not. So if it doesn't lock like that, you can use the Align tool and just use the Align tool like this to lock that panel here. Okay, moving forward, let's just add a quick dimension here, perhaps from here to here, and just lock this in place as well. Now for the whole length of this, I'm not going to be adding a dimension, I'm actually going to be adding a reference plane, so let's do that. So just go here to create reference plane, and then let's just add one quick reference plane here, and then I'm going to add a dimension. We can go straight from the wall up to here. Okay, so this dimension is 924 when the width is 900. So that's actually really easy math. What you want to do now is just turn this into a parameter. So just go here to create a new parameter. Let's call this one the symbolic, because of the symbolic lines. Symbolic panel. Okay, it's a type parameter, click OK, and then here in the family types, you just want to go to the symbolic panel, and then this is going to be width, so let's just copy this, plus 24 millimeters, right? So let's then hit apply, OK, and now we have that correct dimension. Also here, let's just attach this, lock that in place. Perfect. So now this door will become longer as the door is wider, or this dimension will become shorter when the width is smaller. And then finally, we also need that swing line. So you adjust that by going, or you create that by going here to annotate symbolic lines, and then that should be created as an arc, the center and arc, and then this is the swing elevation swing cut, or no, plan swing cut, sorry. Okay, and now let's come in here. That's this position here. You go out, you click here at this point, and then you just extend it up to this point. And you can lock it in place here, and it's supposed to lock itself pretty much to anything, to everything, just by default. Is this locked? It is. Okay, so now I think I have everything in place. So let's test it out. You just go here and you change the width to 800, and then you hit apply. Click OK. And everything seems to have changed. And everything seems to be working correctly. Now the only issue that we have here is the fact that we can see the handles and the panel closed and opened. So we don't want that. So you just select the handles, hold the control key. So select both handles and the door panel. And then can we do this for both of them? No, we cannot. Okay, sorry about that. So we have to select them individually. So let's start with the panel. You go here to visibility settings, and then you just want to uncheck the visibility in the plan view. Okay, so here. This is for RPC. Okay, then never mind that. So just in the plan view, you turn off the visibility. Go with this one, visibility settings. So again, in plan view, we don't want to see it. And again, visibility settings, in plan view, we don't want to see it. Click OK. And then just to view, does this all look correct? You can go here to your preview visibility off. If you turn this on, so preview visibility on, it's just going to show you what this is going to look like when the visibility is correct. Okay, so this seems to be still visible. Let's see. Okay, if I do this. Okay, we had to uncheck that one as well. So now in the plan view, it will only be kind of swinged open like this. And then, of course, in the 3D views, it will be a closed door. And there we go. I think that's pretty much it for this door. Okay, this tutorial is over 30 minutes long, so I'm sorry for making it that long, but it was a complicated topic, and I wanted to explain everything in depth. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you want to download this particular door family, you can find it on my Patreon page, which is going to be linked just below this video in the description, and then also up in the cards above. And now I know that this tutorial is now over 30 minutes long, but there's just one more thing that I would like to complete and to show you, and then we'll be finally done. And that is how to create the family types. So I have shown you that here in the properties panel, we have the family types dialog. And here we can obviously set up all of them, all of the parameters like our door material, the height, the offset, the panel height, the symbolic panel, and the width, and so on. Obviously, we can add more parameters and so on. But there is a question of creating multiple types. So when you load a family into Revit, you will have a door that's perhaps 800 millimeters wide, perhaps one that's 100 millimeters or 1000 millimeters wide, and so on. So what I like to do is go here to type name, and as you can see, it's grayed out, which basically means that we don't have any types created. So you want to go here to new type, and then let's call this one our custom door, and this one can be a 90 centimeter door, for example. So I'm just going to save that one, and before I save it, I'm just going to select this and go to Control-C to copy this to clipboard, because I want to use this later. So then I'm just going to click OK, and then here I can set this to 900, hit apply. Okay, and now this is a custom 90 centimeter door. Then you want to create a new type, and now I'm just going to paste that and change this to 80 centimeters. Click OK, and now you just want to change this to 800, hit apply. There we go. Then you want to go again, paste this. This can be a 70 centimeter door. Change this to 700, hit apply. Okay, and then finally let's create another one. So let's paste this again, and let's do a 60. Click OK. and then change this to 600, hit apply. Okay, so what this does is, now that this is set to 60, if I go here to family types, if I make this a bit smaller, now if I change this to 80 and hit apply, it will automatically change to that width. So this will now have 4 family types at different widths. Obviously you can make some changes to the heights of the door as well, include that in types, or just have it perhaps the smaller doors will be shorter and then the larger ones will be taller, or whatever you want to do. But there you go, that's how you create these family types, and now this family is finally ready to be used. Obviously we can do many more things, and as I said, if you want to learn that, I do include that in my course on families. Now, if you want to get this project file as well as the rest of my Revit project files, you can locate it on my Patreon page, which is going to be just the link in the description, and then also I'm going to link it up in the cards above. Thank you for watching, guys. Make sure to check out my website, balkanarchitect.com, for more Revit courses. There I have over 120 hours of content, and I'm adding more each week. Make sure to subscribe for more videos, and also I've added a video over there that might interest you as well.